Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you are a new friend here, my name is Jenny and I am so honored that you clicked on this video. I'm a confidence and self-love coach, the owner of a cold pressed juice and smoothie bar, a soon-to-be certified personal trainer, and a very soon-to-be first-time mama. I am 31 and a half weeks pregnant, and I can't believe how quickly these last few weeks have gone, and I can't imagine how fast these next few weeks are going to go. Today, I want to talk about something that is so absolutely important to me. It is something I have spent years working on for myself. I have run group programs on this topic. I have written extensively on this topic. I have given lectures at different colleges on this topic, and that is what we can do to heal from an insecurity being triggered, and how we can actually, because of that triggered insecurity, become closer with ourselves and have a stronger sense of confidence. So I want to start by telling you something that happened recently, and it deals with the fact that I am pregnant. First of all, at the end of a pregnancy, the baby is just squishing your lungs. So if I sound completely out of breath throughout this entire video, it is simply because my lungs are at like half capacity at best. So anyway, with that said, I want to tell you a story about something that happened when I went to the doctors a couple of weeks ago, and it was really painful and really sad and really triggered me really hard and brought me back to a place that I didn't know I was capable of still going. And that is, if you know me, if you've followed me, you know my journey. A large part of my life was underweight. I dealt with restrictive eating, with body dysmorphia, with being constantly striving to be smaller and less, and really I've spent the last 8 years not only trying to change my mental and emotional relationship to my body, but also change my physical self to be healthier. I did not have a period really until I was 18 years old, and then I would get it once a year from the time I was 18 till about 27. And then at 27 I just knew that something needed to change, that I just wasn't happy, I was not healthy, and I wanted and deserved more out of life, and I wanted and deserved a better relationship with my body. So starting at 27, I just turned 35. I've spent so much time doing all the work I possibly could to create that really healthy, supportive relationship with myself and my body. And in the last 8 years, I've put on just over 20 pounds. I felt like I was the healthiest and the strongest and the truly happiest I'd ever been just before getting pregnant. And I really feel like I went into pregnancy in the best place that I could. It was really, really incredible. And I was really proud of myself. So anyway, fast forward to about 6 weeks ago, I was going to the OBGYN practice I was going to. You saw a different practitioner every single time you went. You did not have an assigned practitioner. So it's interesting to see that each time I went, I was getting a different practitioner's opinion or advice or whatever. So the last visit I had at that practice, a practitioner said to me, we were talking about weight gain. Something else you will know if you've seen my previous videos or if you are a friend and follow me, I had a very difficult pregnancy. I was diagnosed with hyperemesis, which is severe morning sickness. I threw up all throughout the pregnancy. I'm now 8 months pregnant, and it has finally ceased. It's been about 2 weeks since I've thrown up, which, thank you, goddess. Anyway, so with having had such a severe pregnancy, I was so proud of my body that despite how much I was throwing up, I was still gaining weight, which is great. That's what you want. So that practitioner that I spoke to, I had gained 19 pounds at that point, which I am 5'10". I would say that's like on the smaller side of gaining weight. Said to me, we were talking about what healthy weight gain would be. And when I was talking about how I had done some research and I saw, 35 to 40 pounds is what's considered healthy for the average person, but I am drastically taller than the average person. So I thought maybe I should be closer to 45 pounds. And the practitioner said to me, I'd really much rather see you stay at 25 pounds. And the way this person talked about it was so extremely triggering for me and really shocking for me. It didn't feel like healthy advice. It didn't feel like safe advice. It really truly felt like dangerous advice. And after I left that appointment that day, I really was sent into this really dark place of being afraid of gaining too much weight, of being afraid of being a failure if I gained more than another 5 pounds throughout my pregnancy. And at that point, I think I was at most 24 weeks pregnant, 26 weeks pregnant, something like that. 26 or 28. I was, let's say, around 26 weeks pregnant. And it really triggered me really hard and it scared me. And I went home that night and my partner, my husband Everett, was with me, but I didn't bring it up. I didn't say anything. And I went home that night and I was like, oh my God, if I'm only allowed to gain 5 more pounds or 6 more pounds throughout this pregnancy, what foods do I need to eliminate? How many times a week do I need to exercise? How long do I need to exercise? And it really put me back in this place of, how can I drastically cut calories? How can I put myself in a place of not gaining, of being less, of staying small? And it was really painful and sad for me. And it wasn't until a few days ago when my husband and I, because of everything going on with coronavirus, we actually switched practices and we've decided to have a home birth. That is a topic for another vlog, but we decided to switch practitioners. And it wasn't until we interviewed a few different practitioners, and the one we settled on, when she said to me, this new practitioner said to me, oh wow, you're quite slim for your height. And I said, really? You think so? And she said, yeah, I would expect that, you'd be closer to gaining 40 pounds. And I said to her, really? Is that healthy? And she's like, that is absolutely healthy. And I was able to have a conversation with her and say, like, another practitioner, and my husband was with me when I said this, another practitioner told me that if I went over 25 pounds, she wouldn't be happy with that she thought that was too much. And she apologized for what that practitioner said. And later I was able to have a conversation with my husband where he said, when she said that, he was also triggered, that he was shocked that she had wanted me to stay under 25 pounds. And we were able to talk through it and really understand that it was, what she said was truly triggering and truly painful. And even he, who does not have the experiences that I've had, was shocked and triggered by what she said. So now I want to talk about what are the things that I do when I'm triggered and an old story or an old insecurity comes up, and how I heal from that and learn from it and grow from it. So I've written down the 6 things that I do that I have found extremely helpful. So the first thing is you have to acknowledge the trigger without judgment of yourself. So in the past, when I would be triggered, I would feel the trigger and I would get so angry at myself, and I would feel like such a failure that I was like, I thought I had healed this. I thought I had moved on. I thought I had learned better. I thought I had more confidence in this. Why is this happening? And then it would send me in this like crazy tailspin of being insecure and then being angry and then being insecure and then being angry. And it's just so harmful to attack ourselves. So first thing we have to do is acknowledge an insecurity is being triggered, and acknowledge it without judgment of yourself, and just say, okay, this is the present reality. This insecurity has come back up, and then take loving, kind action. Okay, so number 2, the most important thing to do right away is to come back to yourself and remember that you have to be your number 1 teammate. your number one supporter. And the way I do that is I always speak lovingly to myself about the trigger. So whether it is a person or whether it is an experience, like I said, a few years ago, I went into the Target dressing room and I was trying on bikinis, and you know, you're like 3 inches from the mirror and the lights are super harsh, and I started to judge my body and be really disappointed in my body. And I went out to the parking lot and I had to talk lovingly to myself and say, I am so sorry that that hurt. I'm so sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that you are not feeling good enough or valuable enough or beautiful enough. Other instances, if I see an ad or hear someone say something that is hurtful, I just say, you know, companies spend billions of dollars a year in figuring out women's insecurities so that they can pinpoint how to get us to purchase from their company. So I often say to myself, you know, those billions of dollars they spent, it worked. They got you. That's okay. And even in those moments, I'm not kidding. I will hug myself and I'll say, I love you. I am so sorry that you are in pain, but I am here for you. You are enough, etc. And each one of us is going to have different things we need to hear. And what I do to really practice being on my own team is I take the part of me that is insecure and was triggered, and I speak to her as if she's a separate person, and I'm there to protect her and love her and make her feel valuable. So that is something that I find so powerful, is to really make sure you are on your team and really providing love and support and compassion for that person inside of you who's younger. Maybe she's the 5-year-old version of you or the 6th grade version of you, or maybe she's you last week. Really just love on her with compassion and be there to support her. Okay, so number 3, I also find it extremely helpful to journal it out. Write down what the trigger was, what happened, why you felt that way, how it makes you feel if it is about not being valuable enough or pretty enough or smart enough, or if you are taking up too much space, or if you're, whatever the insecurity is, journal it out, because I really feel like when we connect pen to paper, truths will come out that we aren't even aware of. And then it makes it so much easier to heal those and be present to those things. So number 4, do something that helps you connect to your body. For some of us, that might be dance or exercise. It might be going for a walk in nature, something that gets you breathing into your body and not feeling separate. And when I'm having moments of intense insecurity or anxiety, I truly feel like I am a soul trapped in a body and that I'm like at war with my body. But as soon as I do something that makes me breathe deeply and I'm moving, it really brings me back into myself and into my body in a very different, beautiful way. So whatever that looks like for you, do that. And it might be different every day. It might be different throughout the day. Sometimes it is like a sweaty HIIT workout, and other times it's drinking tea and doing some yoga or going for a walk. So really tune in with yourself and do something that helps you reconnect to your body. Number 5, I find this to be really important, and that is make yourself a beautiful, nourishing meal. Show up for your body and really nourish it. And the foods that make us each feel our best are different for every single person, but something that I find really important in making this meal is making the meal a beautiful experience. I love to make the meal look absolutely beautiful and then put a bouquet of flowers next to me and light a candle, maybe put a crystal next to me, and really just make it an incredible sensory experience and show up for your body. Because I do know for myself and a large part of women that when an insecurity is triggered, it is largely around food, diet, and our bodies, and a natural reaction can be to want to deprive. But instead, show up for your body and nourish it and be so grateful for everything she does for you. And then finally, I think this is the most important part, and that is acknowledge that this insecurity that was triggered is actually a beautiful gift. If it is capable of being triggered, it means it is not fully healed. And when we take time to work on these insecurities and show up for ourselves with compassion, it actually just builds our confidence in our relationship with ourselves to be so much stronger. And it's a beautiful gift because every time we have the opportunity to be triggered and show up for ourselves, it teaches us that we care about ourselves, that we are worthy, that we will defend ourselves and fight for ourselves. And that is incredible. Think about any time in any relationship that you show up for a person when they're in need, it strengthens the bond you have with them. So this is a beautiful opportunity for you to strengthen the bond you have with yourself and to really show up authentically. And the more we can heal different insecurities, the more confident, badass, we can be. And that is a really beautiful gift. And also something I always say is that you have to feel it to heal it. So it can be just below the surface, and if it's not triggered, it can keep being there and affect all of the decisions and choices we make and how we show up in the world. But if an insecurity is triggered and we take the time to heal it, then we can truly release it and show up to our lives as a more empowered version of ourselves. And what is more amazing than that? So that's it. Those are the 6 things that I do when an insecurity is triggered to heal from it, grow from it, and ultimately improve the bond I have with myself. And I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that you have gotten something out of this video. If you have, give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe below, leave any comments about questions on this topic, things you'd like me to talk about in the future, or different ways that you practice showing up for yourself when an insecurity is triggered. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next Monday.